right, guys. So today, my plan here is to show you how to create and upload a blog post using RStudio for that. And just so you have some idea, I'm planning to finish my presentation in 30 minutes, so you kind of know when I'll be done with that. So I think it was really useful that Rachel and Luciana showed how to use Wix for blogging. And that is certainly a more friendly platform than what I will show you. But I think that they also have, I mean, both of them have pros and cons. So for example, what I'll be showing you is how to blog using RStudio. So you will have to be programming. You're not going to have the nice menus to click and select and do all the things that Rachel was showing. It's going to mostly come down to programming. And that's probably one of the downsides of it. However, it is certainly more useful if you want to show data analysis, right? So you can kind of think of, if you want to basically turn your R Markdown file into a blog post, you can do that very easily and show code, comments, graphs, tables, everything very easily in a blog post. And for me personally, the reason why I decided to, so, you know, I've had and still have, like, sometimes people and friends and colleagues come and ask, oh, can you help me with this analysis? Or can you send me a script that does this that I know you did in the past? And I've always helped them, but then I realized, well, if I start, instead of just sending my script to that one person or helping that one person on this one-to-one basis, if instead of doing that, I started posting these analysis somewhere. So those people that are asking for help right there can receive the help they need, but it's also out there. So if other people have a similar question, they can find it online. And I'm also putting myself out there so people can see that I'm working with these things, that I know how to do, that I have those data skills as well. So that's what made me want to create a data analysis blog in the first place. So again, just to touch base, my objective today is to show you how I would create and upload a blog post using RStudio. And please feel free to ask questions anytime. If you don't have to wait till the end. I know that depending on your level of programming in R, this can get very complex. And so if you want me to stop and refresh at some point, just let me know and I'll be glad to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you my screen first. Let's see. Okay, so you're probably looking at my desktop right now. I want to show you what my blog looks like at this point. And I will also send you the link on the chat. So if you want to launch yourself, you can also do that. Let me see. How do I do that? Oh, there you go, chat. Okay, so I just sent you the link to my blog, and I just want to quickly tell you what is going on there. Let me close this. Okay. So my blog is very simple. It just has some introduction about myself, what are my interests, what's my education, and then I have a posts section where I have right now only 2 posts. And also here on my main page, you have a link. So if you click here, it takes you to send me an email. If you click on the Twitter sign, it takes you to my Twitter page, and the same thing for LinkedIn. So it has, like, I'm giving some introduction, telling a little bit about my background, giving you my contact information there. And then there are the posts that I have. So I'm just gonna open the first one very quickly here for you to see. It was, this was like a friend of mine was asking me for help to create a Nebraska map that they wanted to show in a presentation. So I thought, well, okay, let me work on a post and I'll send you the link when I have it ready. So this post here, basically, it has a table of contents and it goes through, like, so I describe first the data set, I bring in the data, create some shape files, start, just basically creating the map throughout the post. I'm not gonna tell you everything that's going on here. If you want, you can go back and read it yourself. But I basically teach a person, like if you go through the script, you're gonna learn how to make this map, pretty much. And you could do that for any state in the US, not just Nebraska. So you can see here how I include comments, there's code, and there's code output, in this case, graphs. So that's what I wanted for my blog post. I wanted something that I could show exactly this. So that's why I chose to do this in RStudio. And so right now I'm gonna launch my page here. Let me get this out of the way. How do I get this out of the way? I don't know. Let me do something else to get there. Okay, so basically I have this folder that I call website 2, and inside of it there's a whole bunch of folders, and there's a RStudio project. I'm going to launch this project here, and this is the project of my whole blog. And just so you know, if you will probably understand everything I'm going to talk about and I'm going to be showing if you have familiarity with RStudio projects, R Markdown files, and the tidyverse. If you don't know what one of these things are or mean, you will probably be lost in what I'm going to show you, which is fine. It just means you haven't learned yet, and if you want to learn, you are in the right place. But just so you can gauge your expectation. Okay, so this is the project of my blog. If I come here on the main folder of the project, these are the folders that I have. And what happens here is, because the blog has already been created, I'm not going to show you how to create the blog itself, but it's very easy to do. And when you do that, all these folders are going to be created for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And you can only focus. So it's going to create basically a default blog for you with some default options that then you can go and personalize. So colors, text, what goes where, and of course you can personalize your content. So that my posts are obviously something I created, is not default, but everything else, all the aesthetics of the blog are predefined things that have already been programmed, and you basically just go in there and change some of those values to fit what you want. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk you through some of the important folders that we have here. So if we come under the config folder, we're gonna see 3 different files here. So params, menus, and languages. I just wanna show you very quickly the menus one. So this is all HTML language, and it has already been written for you. You basically just come here and edit it. So in my case, you can see that this is why I only have two sections of my blog. So I have a home and a posts section. And then there are many other sections you can activate by just removing the hashtag from here. And that's basically how you would deactivate them, just by coming to this file and doing that. So you can see it's a very programming way, but it's not difficult. It's already programmed for you. You just have to have some idea of how you interact with it, which is not very difficult. So another example here, if I launch the params file, this is where, so you define the theme that you're using. I created my own theme that I'm using here called Leo. There's like a day and night themes that you can say if you want that to be true or not. So it's very easy to understand, and they do provide some comments for you to know what you're doing. But here's also the place where like I add my email, and this is and the site or the rest of the script automatically links this to that email icon that we saw on my website. Here's where I put my Twitter information, and this is how it links. So all this is already written. You just come here and put your link, and pretty much does everything else for you. Okay, so so the config folder is where you basically customize things to look like what you want them to look for your website. And the content folder is where you create your own content. And you can see here, there are multiple folders here. There's authors, courses, home, post, project, publication, slides, talk. You can add all of those things. In my case, because I just have a post section, this is where my posts are going to be in. So I have like this first post is the map, is the one that I showed you, the Nebraska map, and there's a data wrangling one. There's one that we'll be creating today, that's the KSUCrops. I'm just gonna go back to the content again, and I want to show you here. So if you come under home, we see that there's a whole bunch of stuff here that you can activate for a website that I have deactivated. So what I want to do is just activate some of them so you can see how easy it is to add that to your website. So I want to come here under the skills. Let's see where it is, skills one, and I'm not going to show everything that's in it, but the only thing I want to tell you is I come here on this row and right now is active equals false. I'm going to change that to true. I will also do that for the projects and publications. So these are widgets that you can add, and of course you're adding through programming. Let's see, projects and then publications as well. Publications opens up there, I say true. So these are called widgets, and I'm gonna just activate them by changing from false to true, and I will build the site. So to build the blog, I come here under add-ins and I say serve site. So it's gonna basically create the blog for me, but it's gonna do that locally. So it has not been uploaded yet. So you guys would not see this if you went to my website right now. Does anyone have a question? Oh, okay. Sorry,
No,
I heard.
Thanks.
Okay, so I just launched it. I want to show you. So this is my local version of my blog. So it still looks like before, but now I have this skills session that is just like, you can configure what you want to show here. There's a whole bunch of skills, and this is like a predefined options. So R, statistics, and photography, I did not add those. And I'm not good at photography, even 10%. So these are all predetermined things that you can add. So the recent post was already there, but then here we have projects. You see how it has already pre-populated some examples for you, and the recent publications as well. So these are things that I currently do not have on my website. I just wanted to show you that you can add these widgets to your website very easily. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. I just want to deactivate those things. So I'm just gonna change them to false again, like we had before, because I wanna have my website to look like what it was. And so these again are the way that you would add new sections to your website. Just save this as well. Okay, so as you saw, every time I'm making a change to some file of the blog and I'm saving it, it's already like refreshing my my blog. So right now, if I launch again, those things are not going to be there anymore. So I went back to just having my welcome screen and the recent posts again, and the popular topics with the tags. So it's already like refreshing, but this is my local view, so it has not been uploaded yet. We're going to see how that works in a second here. Okay, so if we come back to our files again, I'm going to go back to the home folder of the blog, which is this one. I want to show you the content. Well, I think I have already showed you the content on the posts. Yeah, I have already. So every time that the blog is built, so every time that R puts together a blog, you have this public folder here, which is the one that we will actually upload to a website that then will upload our blog. So we never upload everything in the blog project, just the public folder, which is the one that the public will see basically. And then there are themes. So themes are another way for you to customize your blog. So there's a very popular theme that's the Hugo Academic. So Hugo is an engine that talks with RStudio and basically translates everything you're doing in R Markdown to HTML. So you don't have to do that. So Hugo does that for you, and this software called Hugo has different themes that you can choose from. And one of the ones that fits better people in academia is the academic one. And so one of the things that the academic theme has is, for example, this predefined education part here, where you just go there and change like your education place and date and degree, but you know everything else already there. And that's one of the functions of the theme, is it already includes some options for you according to your interests. Okay, so I want to show you guys today's post pretty much. So I'm going to come to the main folder, going to go to content, post, and I have already created it. So I just want to show you what it is. And I'm going to open, it's an R Markdown file. So very similar to if you were doing analysis yourself. So let me tell you a little bit of, well, let me increase the font size here first so you can see better the text on the screen. Appearance, let's do 14. Okay. So let me tell you what I decided to do. I was talking to Rachel and I thought, well, if I want to show you guys a blog post about data analysis, what if we did some quick data analysis on you? And what do I mean by this? Pretty much that I asked Rachel, like, do we have data on everyone that's in our team today? So currently in the team, do we have data on their names, where they're from, what's their title, and if they're male or female? So Rachel helped me to put together this data set, and that's basically what I did here. So this is just, you know, again, our Markdown file. It has some latex, I think that's how it's pronounced, latex symbology. So for example, if you're trying to make a text bold, when we run this is how you would do it. You would use double asterisks before and after the word to make it bold. And also, so for example, here, this is how you would create a link. So if you check this post later on the blog, you're going to see that I'm thanking Rachel here to help me with the data set, and I created a link to her website. So if you click her name when the post is uploaded, you're going to be able to click her name and go to her website. So this is how we create a link, for example, using latex. So I'm not going to go through too much of the details of the analysis, because the analysis itself is not the goal. It's just to show you the final result of it, that is the blog post. So I'm just going to read in some data. You know, you're probably very familiar. So this again is just an R Markdown that I'm adding lots of comments to it, pretty much. So making it so people can read it and know what's going on. So reading the data, I'm just creating the theme for ggplot here for me. I'm reading the data set from my personal GitHub account. So I uploaded to my GitHub account, and I'm uploading this. So if you were to download this same script and run on your RStudio, you could run this and get the same results as I'm getting here. So just so you have some idea of what the data set looks like, we just have a column with names, and we have a column with the titles, country of origin, and then gender. And we have that for all of the members of our team currently. So we have 24 members right at this moment in our team, and all of you guys are represented in this data set with your name. And just so you know, like I decided to only leave your first name for privacy purposes. And in the cases where we had one first name that was repeated for more than one person, I just added your last name initial, just so it could be differentiated there. But we have everyone in this data set, so all 24 students or team members. So first thing I wanted to do was to run a plot to show the gender, how we are categorized as far as different genders. So we see we have all of the 24, sorry, this is looking too large, so we cannot see the whole plot at once, but we see that we have 8 females and 16 males in our team currently. Then I did a second plot that I wanted to look at the different titles. So, you know, it may be hard for you to see now, but on the blog post, it looks better. So we have 7 master students, 7 visiting scholars, and then other categories. So 3 postdocs, 3 research scholars, and then 1 associate professor, Ignacio, 1 PhD candidate, 1 PhD student, and 1 technician supervisor. So this is the breakdown of our team as far as titles. And then the last one, which is, I think is a pretty fun one, is the country of origin. So before I show you guys, does anyone have a guess if we have, well, I think it's pretty clear that Americans are a minority in our team as of now, but does anyone have a guess if we have more Brazilians or Argentinians?
I would say more Brazilians.
More Brazilians?
Now I think more Argentinians.
You know that
right now.
You know that my heart is divided.
So I must say that Cote is correct. So we have 11 Argentinians, 10 Brazilians, and 3 Americans.
That's a problem. We need to start eliminating Argentinians.
So, well, and this is basically the 3 plots I wanted to create here using data that was related to us, right? So this is my plot, my blog post pretty much. So you can see how I wrote all the code, all the comments, the plots, and everything else. So now what I want to do is basically, so I want to create I want to incorporate this blog post into my local blog pretty much. And I do that by coming here saying serve site. So that's going to create my blog locally. Remember, it's local. So we see here that it has like an IP address type of thing. And then there we go. So we have this blog post there. And so this, the KSUCrops logo I added, like I didn't show you how I added, but it's not difficult, but I added that as well. And if we click here, and again, this is my local version, right? So you're not seeing that live online yet. So we have, again, the table of contents, which is created automatically, all the comments I made. So remember, I told you that I had a link for Rachel. So if I click here, it takes us to her, to the home address of her blog. Just want to come back again to mine. So all the writing that I did, the setup, package description, importing the data exploration, like I showed you. So I created this as well. You can see I can show you in the code, but it's very easy just to create like an outset like this, and then the plots. So in the blog, the plots look a lot better, actually, a lot easier to see them. So that female male plot, a plot showing again the our titles in the team. And here it looks nicer. Maybe you couldn't see this when I showed you on our script, our markdown script, but you know, we're able to show the countries of the flags of the countries in the plot. It was pretty cool. So this is pretty much the blog. I also added some resources. So if you're interested in doing this yourself, I added a couple of resources here with links for you to follow up. And just a quick summary of what we did, and that was it. So you can see this is my blog. This is how we created this blog post, which is basically just like one step further from like your regular R Markdown analysis file. It's just like you add some more comments, add some more things to it, but it's very simple to get an analysis into the format of a blog. Okay, so right now, so we have this. If you go right now on the website that I gave you for my blog, you're not going to see the KSUCrops post there yet. And I want to show you how to do that, right? Because as I just mentioned, we created this blog post locally. It has not been uploaded yet. So when you want to make your blog and your new blog posts go live, you have to basically choose a platform that will host your blog. There are many options. Most of them are, I mean, some of them are free, some are paid. I chose one that's free. That is, let's see here. I think I have a different, no. So it's Netlify. So this is the platform that I have my blog in. So if I come here, I'm going to log in. I already have my account because I always host. They've always been the hosts of my blog. So here you can see my website, agronomy. I come under deploy, and here's all the deploys that I made over time. And for me, and a deploy is basically like your new version of your website that you're uploading. So for us to upload what we just did, I want to come back here to my project. I want to go to files, go to the main folder of the blog, and then remember that I told you that the public folder is the one that we'll be uploading to build the new version of the blog. So I just want to open this so I can see the file itself, and I'm basically just going to drag and drop the public folder into here. So it's saying uploading. And it's been published. So if you just refresh now your the address that you have for my blog, now you should be able to see the KSUCrops blog post in there. And it is there. As, I mean, I can see that on my machine, so it is there. So this was pretty much what I wanted to show you guys, was how to create a quick blog post. I mean, of course, I had already written the blog post because it was, you know, we were doing some analysis and I wanted it to look a certain way. But let's say, I just want to show you something else very quickly here. If I just wanted to start off a blog post from scratch, so I can just even close the one that I have right now. I'll come here, say new post. You can give it a name. So let's say test. I want to follow the same scheme that Rachel was using. So you can say if the author, the date. I want to save it on under post, which is where it should go. I can add tags to it. So for my previous blog posts, I had different tags. You can add as many tags as you want. I'm not going to do that right now. Slug here is basically how the website's going to call that page. So I can just call test. I want to have a R markdown file and say done. So when I do that, it's basically creating, well, it has already shown online. So there, so again, this is the local view. So this part with the test has not been uploaded yet. But here's the test. If I open it, it's just going to be empty because I haven't written anything on it yet. But if we come back here to the project, we can see that this is basically the file that created for me already, and I can just get, you know, start typing. So this is a test. I don't know what else to say, but that's pretty much it. And then when you save it, it's gonna build the website locally and show me the result of what I just did. And once I'm ready, once I think that what I have built, I'm just gonna show you. So yeah, test. This is a test, all that. So once I think it's in a good format, I can just go ahead and upload on Netlify, which is what I was showing you here. And so again, here, like Rachel was saying with Wix, here you can add any type of media. You can add images, you can add YouTube videos, you can add Twitter feeds, you can add a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, you're gonna have to do that by programming. So you're gonna have to learn how to do that, how to write out that action. But it's pretty much pretty simple, I would say, if you feel comfortable programming. So let's see, I think this is all I had to show you guys.